Chosen by history, a man becomes a warrior, engraved into history. A warrior becomes a hero.
Wait, what? We have no idea what that means. But with this kind of action, it doesn't matter. Combine tons of moves with inviting gameplay. Mix in all kinds of characters, the weirder the better. And make the graphics as lush as an FPS. That's our recipe for a great fighting game. And the bombastic narrator and story are the 1-2 knockout signature of Soul Calibur 5.
Soul Calibur 5.
Dennis Lee of Namco Bandai stepped inside the ring with us.
What makes Soul Calibur 5 and the Soul Calibur series different from other fighting games and other 3D fighters is really that implementation of the 3D. Soul Calibur has something called the 8-way run mechanic, which allows players to really easily kind of move in that 3D space. Weapons are actually, as much as characters, and they're just as important as the characters are in the game. And so whether you're using like a really long katana blade, or you're using short hidden daggers, or claws, or spikes, there's always kind of a different style you can have. One of the things that the team really did and worked on was making the game faster and more responsive. You're always wondering who's going to win in that power struggle. One of the newest elements for defensive players is something called the quick step. If you're able to choreograph what your opponent's going to attack with, you can very quickly evade their attack and immediately counterattack with that.
Aim out.
Love the defensive nuance, but what about the big attacks?
Your time is up.
The critical edge will get your enemy's attention.
It's kind of almost like the ultimate, technique that player can unleash. You can do it multiple times in a fight. Also, the commands to do it is actually the same for every character.
That's what I'm talking about. It might be an afterthought in other games, but the story comes to the front here.
The game takes place 17 years in the future, past the events of Soul Calibur 4. So what that's going to do is the roster of characters actually changes quite a bit, because 17 years goes by, and then all of a sudden you could have kids of previous fighters who were in the series before, or you'll have characters who have aged and they've changed quite a bit in that time frame. Players will follow the story of Patroclus, who is the new hero of the game. He is the son of Sophicia from the previous series. He is, essentially he's on a crusade to kind of rid the world of these malfested people.
So, you serve Graf Dumas, and you must be the malfested that are destroying this town.
His quest leads gamers through some great-looking environments.
Everything is modeled in 3D as far as the backgrounds, so you really see the depth and all these different areas of the stages, even if it's not a portion of the stage, which is the actual ring that you're fighting on. So the lighting is infinitely better in Soul Calibur 5, to where you're seeing a lot of real-time lighting, shadows. You'll see stages where it is a darker stage, whether you're out in the swamp or in a different area.
Who lives in these great settings?
The roster for Soul Calibur 5 has over 25 characters. As far as returning characters, you have your Mitsurugi, Siegfried, Ivy, Voldo, Astaroth, Yoshimitsu, Cervantes, quite a few others.
Let's break that down. Siegfried and Mitsurugi?
You could never understand.
They'll feel very familiar to people who used them in the previous series. A lot of their trademark moves and their strong attacks are still implemented, and you'll still be able to use them. But at the same time, those characters have aged 17 years. So from a visual style, they look a lot older, a little more rugged than they did in the past.
Your punishment will be quite severe.
Ivy has a very unique style and a very unique weapon. So her weapon is the snake sword. It's a sword that basically segments out and it becomes a whip as well. Voldo is a character that's kind of created to make people uncomfortable a little bit. He's got this kind of S&M vibe around him. His movements are really kind of awkward and a little jerky, and yet at the same time, when he's performing his attacks, he's really fluid. There's a lot of cool new characters. Viola and Zoe are two characters that have brand new fighting styles, so brand new to the series, so they're gonna feel completely new. You have Pyrrha and Patroclus, and then you have Natsu, who is the apprentice of Taki, who was another fan favorite character. Ezio, on the other hand, he comes in as a guest character, not embedded into the core story for Soul Calibur, but there is a reason why he's there, but it's not going to severely impact both the Soul Calibur universe nor the Assassin's Creed universe.
Ezio packs the hidden blades in addition to his other main weapons. He feels like a natural fit in this world. Can't find the perfect fighter? Make your own with a major update to the character creation mode.
If you wanted to make a character that has really big arms and hands, but has a really small body and waist, you can do that. On top of that, the dev team added something where you can take these stamps, and you can place those anywhere on your character's body or on their clothes. Players are able to choose which fighting style they want to attach to your character, and then there are one or two fighting styles which aren't attached to one of the existing characters in Soul Calibur 5.
Soul Calibur 5 really comes together, from the newly honed gameplay and quicker pace to the excellent graphics. And really, in what other game will you find characters this wild?
Silence, you maggot!
Including one swinging a giant living sword. A healthy dose of the crazy. We'll take it. Along with that announcer.
Soul Calibur 5.